Guys, Marsingen here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so today we are going to talk about categories and the potential leader skill options for the upcoming LR. I was going to say, well, I should just say Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo, right? But Ultimate Gohan and potential Unleashed Piccolo, who should, in some way, I've seen some people saying that, you know, I guess people being a bit pessimistic, being a bit negative, that the transformations are only going to be in like the active skill animations or something like that. But hopefully that is not the case and we get proper transformations. That's what I would expect from the way the card art is, but obviously we will see. But yeah, Gohan and Piccolo coming up for the New Year's Dual Dokkan Fest for both versions of the game. So we're going to talk a little bit about which categories that I think both units will be on, as well as talking about some potential for their leader skill. Now, one thing we should get out of the way straight away is it has been data mined a while ago that a new category is in the files, which is basically Dragon Ball Super Heroes, and it's kind of like the equivalent of GT Heroes. So in theory that would be every single character that is related to Dragon Ball Super, at least of the super type, right, rather than extreme types. So it'll be interesting to see who gets included in that tag, because we know there are some differentiations between the units that are considered from the movies or from the anime, especially characters like, for example, LR God Goku, who we know is getting the Global First EZA in February. He is not considered the Battle of Gods God Goku, so he's not on Movie Heroes. He is the God Goku from the Dragon Ball Super retelling of Battle of Gods. So you would assume that he'll be on there. But then when it comes to, because Battle of Gods is just under the Dragon Ball Z moniker, I'm pretty sure. But then when we come to the the Broly movie is Dragon Ball Super Broly. So will the characters from the Broly movie be included on that category as well? Or are they going to stick just to the animated series? That's obviously something we will have to wait and see. So Gohan and Piccolo, if they are going to introduce that category, I assume that they're probably both going to have that as a leader skill. Maybe like the anniversary LRs have done for previous years, apart from this one, where they both leave the same category and then have a second different category. Obviously, they're going to have a plus 30% as well, because there's almost no way they're not going to be 200% leaders, right? They're going to be Dokkan Fest LRs, so obviously they're going to have 200% leader skills. So we're going to talk about some of the other categories that could be involved. I'm not going to try and guess exactly what their leader skill is going to be, because obviously with any combination of two categories and then plus 30% to another one, you do want there to be a decent amount of crossover. I think the worst 200% teams are the ones where only a handful of characters actually get the full 200%. Because even some teams like Raditz, for example, leading Pure Saiyans, has a really good 170 lead, but his leader skill doesn't cover like a huge amount of units. And there are quite a few of the 200% leads like that, like Gohan and Goku, the STR one. So we'll have to see. But these are just some categories that the units could be on, and obviously some that I think might have a little bit more relevancy for their leader skill we can discuss as well. So I'm going to start off with Piccolo. I feel like if I start off with Beast Gohan, that's the main one everyone came to see. So do your boy a favour for that watch time and watch the Piccolo one, even if you're only really interested in Gohan. So I brought up this Piccolo as an example because he is a Movie Heroes Piccolo. So obviously there are certain categories that we would absolutely 100% expect him to have. Obviously Movie Heroes, like both of the characters are going to be on this category for sure. This category has a lot of leads, so I wouldn't expect them to have it as a leader skill. Maybe one of them, but definitely not both of them. Or it could be the extra 30%. It probably works better for Gohan, but I think given the spread of characters that they are going to cover, I don't think Movie Heroes is going to be one of the extra 30%, because that does limit it quite a little bit. But obviously both units will be on this category. Then we have Bond of Master and Disciple. So obviously, again, both units are going to be on this category. I mean, you can see the Dragon Ball Superhero free-to-play Gohan right there. Most Piccolos are on here, obviously, because even from the Saiyan Saga, Piccolo became like the Master of Gohan. So, you know, these characters are absolutely going to be on this category. And I feel like this is a good one that could get the lead from Piccolo. Because if we look at the leader skills, we have Gohan and we have the LR. Both of these actually only have 150 leads for Bond of Master and Disciple. And then we have Future Gohan. When he gets his EZA, he will of course have a full 170 lead. But he's kind of well, he's sort of usable at the moment, but not really top of the meta. So we do a new like high level meta level unit leading this category would be pretty good. Plus there's another category that I think fits Gohan a little bit better that we'll obviously talk about when we get to him. So I could quite easily see one of Piccolo's leader skills being Bond of Master and Disciple, but he's definitely going to be on the category. Then, of course, you know, he's going to be on Namekians, obviously. Now, I feel like it would be kind of a weird, almost like a joke, if his leader skill was Namekians. Obviously, we haven't had a new Namekians leader for a while, but this is a category that doesn't get any buffs. So imagine if he had, like, Dragon Ball Super heroes and then Namekians. Like, Dragon Ball Super part of the leader skill is just going to be fully carrying the whole team, except for, I guess, when this Piccolo gets his Easy A, the physical one, he's going to be really good. Nail with an Easy A actually could be crazy as well, because remember, with a Piccolo on rotation with him, he's a godly tank. So if we're getting a new Piccolo and we've got these older Piccolos, some of which could be getting Easy A's, this Nail with an Easy A would actually work really, really well on that team. But I feel like Namekians maybe needs a different way to get a buff in the future. I think it would be very weird if one of Orange Piccolo's leader skills was Namekian. In terms of the game, in terms of team building, when it comes down to the theme of the unit, I mean, obviously it's like Shenron gifting Piccolo this new, like, Namekian transformation. I could kind of see an argument for him having it as a leader skill, just in terms of the theme, but in terms of what we actually want him to have in the game, I think him having Namekians as a leader skill would be a little bit wasted, but let me know what you guys think down below. Then, of course, we have Worthy Rivals, which is kind of like the Piccolo and Vegeta category. Obviously, there are some TNs on here as well. Early Yamcha, Pycon. Now, the Gamma 1 and 2 are on here. So one of these two units obviously would make the most sense for Piccolo, because Gohan won't be on Worthy Rivals. Piccolo having a Worthy Rivals leader skill wouldn't be the worst thing in the world either, because again, we currently only have an uneasy aid Dokkan Fest exclusive, and then this LR, so no like current new meta level leader skill for Worthy Rivals. So Worthy Rivals could be pretty good to have as a lead, especially because it will factor in some of these other really good Vegeta units, as well as the Gammas, because obviously having them being able to be on the same team would make a lot of sense. So I do think Worthy Rivals could be a good leader skill for Orange Piccolo as well. So, and then Connected Hopes is another popular one that I've seen. We do have two current LRs, and obviously they don't have leader skills as high as 170. And then we have Piccolo. This is only 150 for Connected Hopes, or is that... No, his 170 is his Connected Hopes one. So we do have a 170 lead who is still somewhat usable in the current meta, although he does rely on his dodge and his Ghost Usher. Against the hardest bosses, if he does get hit, he can take a lot of damage. So a new Connected Hopes lead could be pretty good, because this category is quite small, right? And a lot of the Piccolos are on here, like this Movie Heroes Piccolo is on there. So I could see Piccolo being on Connected Hopes for sure, and having a new leader for that would be pretty good. So now we get on to some of the newer categories that I would expect them to have. So Miraculous Awakening, I think, is one that we could obviously say for both of them, right? Especially because even though it's not official, the wiki description consists of characters who awakened an incredible power due to critical circumstances. Now, obviously, he was given the power by Shenron as like a secret boost, but then it was awakened due to him getting beaten down by Gamma 2. So I could definitely see him being on Miraculous Awakening. Same with Gohan as well, considering that this Gohan is on here. And obviously Beast Gohan has a lot of, like, you know, Mirror to Super Saiyan 2 transformation for the first time. So I could definitely see him being on here. But I could see Piccolo being on here as well, for sure. Then we have Transformation Boost. I mean, Transformation Boost is very vague, right? Any characters that transform or have transformations of some kind, it makes sense. You can make an argument for them being on here. So if the units are starting off as Ultimate or, you know, Potential Unleashed and then transforming, there's definitely an argument for them being on this team. Cooler got an Easy A not long ago, but obviously the category does only have the 170 leads. Cooler is a very good leader for the team, though, as well as providing support. So he's still a relevant unit at the moment, but a super type leader for Transformation Boost, apart from Ribrienne, who no one really cares about, is not something we've ever really had. So Piccolo being a Transformation Boost lead would actually be kind of cool as well, but I would expect him to be on the category if the card does permanently transform. If it only transforms in the active skill, I'm assuming, would they be on here? Is GT Goku and Vegeta on here? No. So yeah, because they only transform up through their, like, you know, Super Saiyan forms and the Azaru in the active skills. So they're not on here. So as long as the card does actually properly transform, they should be on here as well. Then we have Heavenly Events. I thought this would be an interesting one because this category is directly tied to the events of the Lookout. It's not just the Room of Spirit and Time, because like Garlic Jr. and stuff are on here. So I could see him being on there, right? Because they powered up Shenron, and then he gifted him that ability on the Lookout by using Dende, who is obviously, you know, the keeper of the Lookout, Guardian of the Earth, using his powers to upgrade the dragon. So I think you could make an argument 100% that Orange Piccolo should be on the Heavenly Events category. So those are some of the main new ones that I thought that Piccolo could get. Obviously, again, this category doesn't really have a proper leader outside of Gohan. So Heavenly Events is a leader skill. I don't know if it fits the theme, because Piccolo's all about the movie, all about his bond with Gohan. So I could definitely see something like Bond of Master and Disciple and Connected Hopes, or like I said, Worthy Rivals factored in there somewhere as well. So let me know down below your thoughts about the Piccolo and his categories. What do you think a good leader skill for him would be? And then let's have a look at Gohan. So I brought up these two cards, the free-to-play just Gohan Teen in his base, and then we have the Ultimate Gohan as well. So obviously, as we already talked about, like, he's definitely going to be on Movie Heroes. Obviously, he's going to be on Hybrid Saiyans, Goku Family, Siblings Bond, Bond of Master and Disciple, Bond of Parent and Child, Warriors Raised on Earth. These are all just like generic Gohan categories, right? Now, when it comes to Ultimate Gohan, because remember, the card is going to start off as Ultimate Gohan, but some of these categories are not going to be the same, right? He's not going to be in Majin Buu Saga. You would argue he's probably not going to be in Revenge. Maybe. I don't. He goes there to save Pan, but I don't know if Revenge is appropriate. Rapid Growth. That would make sense, I guess, considering the Beast Gohan part, right? If he was just Ultimate Gohan from the movie, then I would say Rapid Growth probably wouldn't apply. But because Beast Gohan's going to be thrown in there as well, then you could say so. Saviors. I mean, it goes there to save Pan. That makes a lot of sense. Powerful Comeback. The Super Saiyan 2 Gohans are on there as well, I think. So that would make a lot of sense. Same with Entrusted Will, right? Piccolo and everybody else entrusting their hopes into Gohan to finish off Cell Max. And then obviously Bond of Parent and Child and Warriors Raised on Earth. So going over a couple of these that we know he's going to get. Now, Goku Family has a lot of leaders. Bardock just came out as yet another unit that has that as part of his leader skill. So I wouldn't necessarily expect Gohan to lead this category. I think that would be very unlikely, especially because the movie is all about really Gohan and Pan, and obviously Piccolo. You know, Gohan's family isn't a separate category, so it does all fall under Goku Family, but just to me, I think that would be a really odd choice for a leader skill for this Gohan. So I wanted to highlight this. He will be on the category, but I think very unlikely that he'll be a leader. Now, when I talked about Bond of Master and Disciple for Piccolo, I mentioned the other category that makes more sense for Gohan, and that is obviously Bond of Parent and Child. I think it would be a pretty good bit of, like, mirroring, the way they often do with these dual Dokkan Fests, if part of Piccolo's leader skill was Bond of Master and Disciple, and then part of Gohan's leader skill was Bond of Parent and Child, because it kind of covers their main focus of the movie, right? Piccolo is doing what he's doing to try and, like, get Gohan to a new level, and Gohan's doing what he's doing because he's trying to save Pan. So they're their direct links, right? The master and student, and then parent and child. I think these being tied into their leader skills would work perfectly, especially because the only leader we have for the category at the moment is Vegeta and Trunks, which, I mean, they're brand new on Global. They're obviously a very good unit, very good leader for that category, but having another option would definitely not be the worst thing in the world, especially because, like, parts of the Vegeta and Trunks card, unless you're on low HP, you want a full future rotation for them to be able to do their active skill, and sometimes you don't want to build a team that has any other future units on it, so having another option as a Bond of Parent and Child leader would be good, especially because it's one of the biggest categories in the game. I mean, it's just going to contribute yet again further to Beast Gohan potentially being the best unit in the game. If he has Bond of Parent and Child as part of his leader skill, then obviously that's pretty crazy. So we already talked about Miraculous Awakening. I definitely expect both of these units to be on here. The fact that the Super Saiyan 2 Gohans are on here pretty much seals the deal for me for Beast Gohan, considering its similarities. So I think that makes a lot of sense. He could be a new leader. The only one we have is the 6th anniversary LR. I mean, at the moment, you know, this is coming out on both versions at the same time, but JP's only a month or so away from their anniversary, so this unit is about to become 2 years old and we have no other leader for that category. So I could see one of Gohan's 170s being a Miraculous Awakening. I don't know about it being the extra 30 because it's not a huge category, so I don't know if that would be a great idea, but I definitely expect them to both be on here. Transformation boost we talked about already. It's just the same points again. If they are transforming permanently into that form and not just part of the active skill, I would expect them to be on here. And then the same things I said again about Piccolo, right? Having a super class option as the leader for a transformation boost team would be pretty cool. So talked about Entrusted Will. Definitely could see him being a leader for this. Trunks is over a year old on JP, almost a year old on Global. So definitely could see a new leader for Entrusted Will. I mean, again, the Gohan that goes Super Saiyan 2 is on here. So with the parallels to Beast, I could absolutely see Entrusted Will being one of the leader skills for Beast Gohan. I think that could work quite well. Now, the interesting one I wanted to bring up here is Battle of Fate. Now, this one is specifically for the main battles at the end of a saga, but this applies to the TV show or the anime and not the movie. So that's why this Goku is here and not on Movie Heroes. And then obviously we have, you know, Super Saiyan Goku that fought Frieza, we have UI Goku and Jiren, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and Cell. It's all the final bosses of the arc. But the one thing that's interesting is the data for the Cell Max boss shows that even though obviously categories for enemies don't matter, they don't show up, they don't mean anything to us when we actually play the game, but apparently Cell Max is in Battle of Fate. So therefore, it would make a lot of sense for Gohan to be in here. I think you could argue that Piccolo should be in here as well, because even though Gohan lands like the finishing blow, obviously Piccolo, you know, holds off Cell Max, holds him in place for the special beam cannon, is the whole reason Gohan transforms in the first place. I think it would make sense for an argument at least for Piccolo to be on here as well. But if Cell Max is going to be on here, Beast Gohan absolutely should be on here. And then, like I say, I think you can make an argument that Piccolo could be on here as well. Because, I mean, Vegeta's here, right? Even though his active skill does feature the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, sorry, his Unit Super features Goku, but obviously he's here. Jiren, the Jiren fight, we got Golden Frieza and 17 are on here. So even though I guess they are involved in directly defeating Jiren at the end. So I would say with the inclusion of them, you absolutely could make the argument that Orange Piccolo should be on here. So and that's if they are going with Battle of Fate for the superhero movie stuff, because like I say, in the files, Cell Max is on the category. So, but then of course that could be just some weird thing they did, and in the future we get a Cell Max unit and the unit is not on there. So I guess it'll be up to them to decide whether they're putting these characters on there or not. And then the last one I wanted to bring up was Powerful Comeback. Again, this is the Super Saiyan 2 Gohans are on here, so I think it makes a lot of sense. We only just got a Carnival LR with a 200% leader skill, but one of my big criticisms of this Super Saiyan Goku, the unit itself is great, of course, he's a top tier unit, but 200% for Powerful Comeback, I'm not a huge fan. Like, the category does have some good units on it, and it's obviously about to get potentially these two new LRs, but having a new leader that has 170 for this and then 170 for something else, with obviously the plus 30, I think would be a lot better than just having a 200% leader for this one category team like Birdku has. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What categories do you think Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo are going to have, and what would you like to see them have as a leader skill? Let me know down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.